at Bayan-Tasha Market in Yobe. Abuja fire victims share heartbreaking stories, plead for support. Kaduna workers protest non-implementation, shut down public offices amid low turnout by NLC. Away from Nigeria, President Biden arrives in Angola for long-awaited trip. Hello and welcome to the news update on Trust TV at this hour. I am Aisha Salihu. We begin with a tragic incident in the northeastern part of the country. An early morning fire has razed down no fewer than 50 shops at the popular Bayan-Tasha Market in Damaturu, the Yobe state capital. According to an eyewitness, the incident started at about 2 a.m. on Tuesday morning when electricity was restored in the area. At the time, all the shop owners had closed. However, the swift response of the federal and state fire services helped in putting out the fire from further destruction. Although there was no loss of life, already the response team of the State Emergency Management Agency was on ground, taking stock of the properties destroyed and a number of affected shops. The fire incident happened exactly 1 year after an inferno destroyed shops at the same Bayan-Tasha Market in 2023. In the Federal Capital Territory, a devastating fire broke out in the early hours of Monday, ravaging Trade Mall Estate Market in the Federal Capital Territory and destroying goods and properties worth hundreds of millions of naira. Trust TV's Noel Sampson, who visited the wreckage of the once bustling market, reports that affected victims are appealing for help from government and well-spirited Nigerians, as no fewer than 36 shops were razed down. Take a look.
This is the aftermath of yet another fire disaster, one that has plunged many traders into a state of devastation. Victims of the fire incident recounted how they discovered that their shops had been consumed by the fire and how much they have lost.
I was in my shop. I was sleeping. It was around 3 in the night, 3 o'clock in the night. So I hear my guys, my people, they stay together there because almost the guys where they stay for their shops because of insecurity. So as I hear the shout, they are saying break that place, break that. I was thinking of thief. So as I eventually I come out, I discovered that it's fire for one of Bendo shop down. Her name is Jennifer. So we try to off the fire.
I am the owner of the plaza. We have 36 shops here. They all got burnt. We have lost over 200 million here during this fire incident.
You can see from the rims, you are trying to save. What are you saving? You're saving carcass. You're saving burnt items. What will you do with it? I, for one, I know I've lost close to 7.5.
It was the security that came to guard on our gates. The market was burning. I rushed out. By the time I got to this place, thinking that we can be able to bring anything out, but dying, a pain, I cannot bring that from there. The labor has been laboring for so many years. I could not bring any pain out. It's more than 15 million. More than 15. Please, on behalf of my colleagues that are here, we are like 2 people that have 3 shops here, and our shops, everything got burnt down. I'm begging whoever that will show mercy on us. Please, so please kindly come to our assistance. I have 3 shops. I have plastic, it's waste product. I have food stop, 2 pack, 2 shops. And my shops is more than 20 bags of rice inside the 1 shops. And 3, I can't calculate, I can't count because my shop is very loaded. My shop, in short, I don't know where I will start. I don't know where I will stop.
Personnel of the Federal Fire Service were handed to help arrest the fire, as the FCT controller gave an insight on their response and the importance of having a fire service post in the estate.
Immediately we received that call from the control room. They turned out immediately, 4:37. Within 2 minutes they responded. But getting here, the distance is also there. The nearest station that we turn out is the Federal Fire Service Soka outpost and the Federal Fire Service EFCC outpost. But within 4:45 they are here fighting the fire. Yes, what I can say is that the private organization or the private owner of this estate is supposed to make a collaboration with the fire service, particularly Federal Fire Service. Not only the security that is so important, likewise, as you can see, the outcome of this safety is also important.
Market fires in Nigeria have become a distressing regular occurrence, highlighting significant gaps in infrastructure and emergency services. Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Quite a sad development there in the Trademore estate in the FCT. Public offices in Kaduna were under lock and key on Monday as a result of industrial action embarked upon by the Nigeria Labour Congress due to the failure of the government to pay the new minimum wage to civil servants in the state. The union embarked on the strike following the directive of the National Executive Council that state councils should proceed on indefinite strike pending the fulfillment of minimum wage by the state governments across the country. The report.
The Kaduna State Secretariat and other public offices were under lock and key as the organized labor in Kaduna State embarked on an indefinite strike. Although the state government had earlier announced the implementation of the new minimum wage in the state, the recent industrial action by the organized labor is contradicting the earlier pronouncement of the state government.
Really, the state government has attempted to start paying minimum wage in the state, but good number of people, workers in Kaduna, are still receiving less than 70,000 as minimum wage. Although there are a good number that receive the 72, some with 1,000, some with 2,000 as addition to their salary, some with 20. There it is not according to what we have negotiated. This is the bottom line.
Many civil servants were stranded as they were denied access to their offices, while others remained at home observing total compliance of strike. The indefinite strike, according to the organized labor, will only be suspended when the government is ready for genuine negotiations.
We are following the instruction. We are abiding by the instruction of the national headquarters, but our doors are open. We are ever ready. When the government wanted to reconvene the discussion, we are ever ready. We are partners in progress, whereas we have no any other standard than Kaduna State. We are for the progress of Kaduna State, but we have a constituency. The working class, particularly Kaduna State civil servants, are our constituency.
Although businesses and other activities are going on smoothly in the metropolis, the public service has, however, been disrupted by the strike. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
Elsewhere in the Northwest region, as part of efforts to forestall an indefinite strike by the state chapter of the Nigeria Labour Congress, the Zamfara state government has signed a memorandum of understanding with labor unions on the implementation of the 70,000 naira minimum wage. The agreement, signed on Monday evening, came after a series of negotiations between representatives of the state government and NLC officials. The agreement also addressed other labor-related concerns raised by the union, including issues of improved welfare packages for state workers. NLC chairman in the state, Sani Haliru, confirmed the suspension of the planned industrial action, stating that the MOU marks a victory for workers' rights. He praised Governor Dauda Lawal's administration for its willingness to engage in dialogue and prioritize workers' welfare. Edo State Governor Monday Okpebolo has sworn in 3 judges who were initially rejected by Godwin Obaseki's administration. 5 of the judges were sworn in May this year. The governor, who supervised the swearing-in of the 3 judges into the bench of Edo State High Court at the Festival Hall in Government House, recalled that in his inaugural speech, he had promised to look into the case, noting that the day presents the privilege to right the wrong. The governor noted that 11 months after the recommendation of the National Judicial Council, only 5 of those recommended were sworn in as judges by the immediate past administration, leaving out 3, even when they had all been cleared and recommended by the same NJC. Governor Okpebolo said no one should be discriminated against, marginalized or hated for personal reasons or on account of not having a godfather. The governor added that as judges of the State High Court, they are expected to uphold a high standard of conduct, ensure fair dispute resolution, uphold the rights of citizens, and bring culprits to justice. EX agitators Phase 2 on Monday morning staged a peaceful protest against United Bank for Africa in Yenagoa, the Bayelsa state capital, over the freezing of their leader's account. The protesters, mainly beneficiaries of the amnesty program, expressed frustration over the bank's action, which they claimed disrupted their financial activities and welfare. They accused UBA's management of making it difficult for them to access all funds crucial to their livelihoods, particularly amid the current economic challenges. The account had been frozen due to a motion on notice filed at the Federal High Court, Yenagoa Division. The motion was brought by Tare Selekekeme, the applicant, against Akpos Passman as the first defendant, alongside UBA and Dr. Dennis Otuaro, Special Advisor to the President on Niger Delta Affairs and Administrator of the Presidential Amnesty Program, listed as the second set of defendants. The freezing of the account was ordered as part of an interlocutory injunction sought by Selekekeme. After the protest, which took place peacefully in Yenagoa, the United Bank has unfrozen the account of self-styled General Akpos Passman at its Onopa branch. Nigeria has expressed its readiness to deepen strategic ties with South Africa, particularly in infrastructure development and capacity building in the mining sector. The Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Bianca Odumegwu-Ojukwu, disclosed this during the opening of the 11th session of the Nigeria-South Africa Bi-National Commission in Cape Town. Addressing the Ministerial Session, Odumegwu-Ojukwu revealed that Nigeria has prepared a draft Memorandum of Understanding to collaborate with South Africa on the certification and capacity building of Nigerian mining geologists and other professionals in the sector. President Bola Tinubu and Cyril Ramaphosa, South Africa's president, are expected to jointly lead discussions on critical areas of collaboration. Discussions at the BNC cover trade and investment, political consultations, consular and migration matters, defense and security cooperation, banking, energy, manufacturing, and social sector collaborations. This year's session is particularly significant as it marks the 25th anniversary of the Bi-National Commission, established to strengthen ties between Africa's 2 largest economies. Stakeholders like former governors Orji Uzor Kalu of Abia State and Adams Oshiomhole of Edo State have attributed the poor state of local government councils in Nigeria to the 1999 Constitution. They stated this at the National Dialogue on Local Government Reforms and Constitutional Amendment, organized by the House Committee on Constitutional Review, held in Abuja. The report.
The state of local government councils in Nigeria has become a major concern as these foundational administrative units struggle with inefficiency, corruption, and a lack of autonomy. Despite their critical role in grassroots development, these councils often fall short in delivering essential services such as healthcare, education, and infrastructure. While Section 7 recognizes local government as a tier of government, the Constitution also grants state houses of assembly the power to legislate on their operations. The ex-governor voiced strong support for financial and operational autonomy for local councils, but emphasized the importance of ensuring accountability and transparency in their management.
The Constitution made it very clear there are 3 tiers of government. We don't have 2 tiers of government. It's not true. The tiers of government are 3: the federal government, the state government, and the local government. So everyone should be financially independent.
I will not accept that in the name of autonomy, money arrive at the local government headquarters, they meet under the tree, share the money, and at the end of the day, primary school teachers are not paid. And as a consequence, it's quite common to hear primary school teachers going on strike for months.
Other stakeholders say inadequate funding remains one of the most significant obstacles in developing local government areas in Nigeria. They believe that local governments also operate on budgets that are insufficient to meet their responsibilities, noting that one of the most pressing issues the National Assembly has to deal with is the poor quality of elections into local government councils across the state.
It is our duty to ensure that local governments are not mere administrative units, but they are vibrant institutions that reflect the will of the people, fostering accountability, transparency, and responsiveness.
We must advocate for greater financial autonomy for local governments by ensuring that they receive adequate funding directly from federal allocations without excessive state control. We should explore mechanisms and empower local governments with more decision-making authority over their affairs.
It is believed that empowering local government through fiscal independence and administrative autonomy will be pivotal in reversing their decline and fostering sustainable development at the grassroots.
You're watching the news update coming to you live from Trust TV studios in the nation's capital. Coming up ahead. Economic hardship. Just tricycle dealers lament rising cost of operations. Plenty more after the break. Don't go away. Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. Let's have a second look at some of our top stories. We told you that fire razes about 50 shops at Bayan Tasha Market in Yobe. You also heard Abuja fire victims share heartbreaking stories, plead for support. And to other stories, dealers and owners of tricycles in Jos, the Plateau State capital, have decried the soaring cost of tricycles in the country. According to them, the current price of tricycle is negatively affecting their business and by implication, their daily survival. Ado Musa completes the report.
The cost of various brands of tricycles was found to have increased between 150% and 237% from 2014 to 2024. The price of a new tricycle, also known as Keke Napep, is currently sold at the rate of 3.4 million from the dealers. With tricycle manufacturers exploring CNG-powered tricycles, the cost could exceed to 4 million naira. This has left many wondering what could be the reason for the surge in prices of the commodity.
The cost, there are so many things attached to it. Tax from government, then the dollar exchange rate, which is unstable for now, is fluctuating. So contributes, then this fuel subsidy removal is part of it.
Some tricycle owners who loan the keke to riders explain how they are faring in the business.
Not
long ago, we purchased a new keke napep between 1.5 million and 1.7 million. But today, the price has skyrocketed, creating serious challenges between us and the riders. While some start and complete the loan repayment peacefully, others default midway despite assisting them. Before we loan over 7, but today I can only afford to loan 3 because of the hike in price. Before now, the price was cheap and we had a very peaceful transaction. But with the hike in price, we have no choice but to add the difference to the initial price. In every business, they aim to make profit. So whatever we do is in that direction. Prior to this time, we used to repay our loan within just 4 or 5 months. But now we collect the tricycle at 5.5 million. Due to the price increase, we cannot repay the loan even in 4 years. And by the time you manage to complete the loan, the keke must have suffered wear and tear. Passengers cannot afford our new prices, which have become necessary because fuel is very expensive. It hasn't been easy at all for us. Youth who are mostly engaged in the tricycle business say, with the hike in its price, the situation could push them out of the job. They are calling on the government to find a solution to the lingering surge in the prices of goods and services in the country. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
The Federal Capital Territory Administration has placed 61,384 people living with HIV and AIDS on treatment. The Mandate Secretary, Health Services and Environment Secretariat, FCT Administration, Adedolapo Fashawe, stated this in Abuja on Monday at a press conference to commemorate the 2024 World AIDS Day. Fashawe said the day with the theme, Take the Right Path, Sustain HIV Response, Stop HIV Among Children, calls for a renewed focus on addressing pediatric HIV and safeguarding the rights of everyone affected by the disease. She described World AIDS Day, commemorated every December 1, as a day to unite efforts, increase awareness, support those living with and affected by HIV and AIDS, and honor the memory of those who have died. Represented by the Director General, Hospital Management Board, Dr. Olubenga Bello, the Mandate Secretary said the figure represents 223% of the projected number of PL-HIV. Fashawe, who hinted that the number included those migrating from neighboring states, added that of the 61,384 people placed on treatment, 1,048 were children, representing 3.8%, and receiving life-saving antiretroviral therapy. And to developments away from Nigeria, President Joe Biden arrived in Angola on Monday for his long-awaited first presidential visit to sub-Saharan Africa. Thousands of people lined the streets as Biden entered Angola's capital, Luanda. Biden first stopped in the Atlantic Ocean island nation of Cape Verde for a brief closed-door meeting with Prime Minister Ulysses Correa E. Silva. In Angola, Biden plans to meet with Angolan President João Lourenço, visit the National Slavery Museum, and travel to the port city of Lobito for a look at the rail project. Biden promised to visit Africa last year after reviving the U.S.-Africa Summit in December 2022. The trip was pushed back to 2024 and delayed again this October because of Hurricane Milton, reinforcing a sentiment among Africans that their continent is still low priority for Washington. The last United States president to visit sub-Saharan Africa was Barack Obama in 2015. And that's about the size of our package for you on the news update on Trust TV at this hour. But remember, you can always follow us across all of our social media platforms and also join our YouTube live stream for more news, programs and documentary. I'm Aisha Salihu. Thank you so much for watching. Join us again.